In this video I will tell you how a young Eli overcame fear. In a quaint village nestled between lush, whispering forests and a vast, serene lake lived a young boy named Eli. Eli was like many children in the village, filled with curiosity and a thirst for adventure. Yet, unlike his friends who would eagerly explore the surrounding wilderness, Eli was held back by a gripping fear of the unknown. This fear wasn't just a flutter in his stomach or a momentary shiver down his spine, it was a heavy chain that bound him, keeping him from experiencing the fullness of the world around him. Eli's fear wasn't baseless. When he was much younger, he had wandered a little too far into the forest. The shadows grew long and twisted, and the familiar path vanished behind him. Hours passed before the villagers found him, cold and trembling. Since that day, the fear of getting lost, of the unknown and unseen, had taken root in his heart. But deep down, Eli yearned to overcome this fear. He dreamt of racing through the woods, of discovering hidden nooks and crannies, and of standing by the lake at sunset without the shadow of fear darkening the beauty before him. It was this desire that sparked a change. One day, Eli decided to confront his fear. He understood that it wouldn't be easy, that his fear wouldn't vanish overnight, but he was determined. His plan was simple yet challenging. Each day, he would venture a little further into the surroundings he feared, armed with nothing but his courage and a small notebook to jot down his feelings and discoveries. On the first day, Eli stood at the edge of the forest, his heart pounding in his chest. The trees seemed to whisper amongst themselves, and for a moment Eli considered turning back. But he took a deep breath, reminded himself of his goal, and took a step forward. That day he only managed a few steps into the forest before the fear became too much, and he hurried back to the safety of his home. But those few steps were a victory, and he marked them down in his notebook with pride. With each passing day, Eli ventured a little further. Some days were harder than others, and there were moments when he felt like giving up. But he persevered, encouraged by the pages of his notebook that filled with his adventures, no matter how small they seemed. As weeks turned into months, a remarkable transformation occurred. The forest and lake that once seemed menacing now felt familiar, almost friendly. Eli learned to spot the signs of the changing seasons in the color of the leaves and the patterns of the birds' flights. He discovered secret glades and hidden streams that he had never known existed. The fear that once felt insurmountable now seemed like a distant memory. One evening, as Eli stood by the lake watching the sun dip below the horizon, he realized that he was no longer afraid. The journey had not been easy, but by facing his fear a little at a time, he had managed to overcome it. He had discovered that the unknown wasn't always to be feared, it could also be a source of wonder and beauty. Eli's story spread throughout the village, inspiring others who were held back by their fears to take that first step into the unknown. And as for Eli, he never stopped exploring. With each new day he ventured further, driven by a boundless curiosity and a heart no longer weighed down by fear. I hope this video met you well. So don't forget, fear is a powerful survival instinct that can protect you from real danger, but it can also limit and restrict you. When fear is driving, it takes you to small, safe and familiar places rather than finding adventures or going off the beaten path. Leaving your comfort zone, trying new things and facing fears are the best and fastest ways to overcome them. Leave your comment below on what you think about fear. Thanks for watching.